If you're like most gardeners, you might find the issue of watering a bit confusing, or at the very least have questions about when to water, how much to water, and even what's the best method of application. We get a lot of questions about watering, and if you're confused about this issue, I hope that it makes you feel better to know that you're not alone, and that your confusion is not unwarranted. Not only does watering differ from plant to plant and garden to garden, but supplemental irrigation will be affected by whether your garden is in sun or in shade, and by your climate and soil type. And then there's the monkey wrench in the mix, the proliferation of conflicting information on the internet, not all of which is wrong or ill-informed, but much of which may be not quite right for you, even though it seems to be. Recently, while I was doing some research for a CTG segment, I came across conflicting information on the water requirements of a tree that I knew to be a riparian species. I wanted to confirm the knowledge that I had gathered on this tree while working with it in El Paso, and to see what local horticulturists in Central Texas had to say about it. The first site that popped up in my search was from a very prominent group, well respected for their horticultural information, especially as it relates to water and landscape issues. Well, on this website, the tree in question was listed simply as low water use, with no further contextual information. Firstly, I was disappointed at the site's oversimplification, and then I stopped to consider this issue more deeply. I concluded that the site was just trying to meet consumer demand for some simple instructions to assist in their decision-making about choices of plants. Unfortunately, this oversimplification is a byproduct of our times. We all lead very busy lives and don't have time to study a topic, then implement that knowledge and tweak it to our particular situation through trial and error. Nor do we have the time for reading extended text with the full focus required, not only to digest that information, but then to extrapolate it to our own unique soil, lighting, and climatic information. Very quickly, we find ourselves overwhelmed by this complexity, which causing us, perhaps even unknowingly, to gravitate more towards bullet points and sound bites. As a county extension agent, I recognize this frustration in the calls that I received almost daily from consumers who don't end up on my doorstep until the situation is seemingly dire. So I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that assisting you with your questions on various topics, from nutrition and family issues to large acreage farming operations to watering, pruning, and mowing, is why the Cooperative Extension Service was developed. And we're still here to help you. So please consider reaching out to your local county extension office to ask them a question before you begin your project or at any point along the way. As for more specific information on watering, lawns, trees, vegetables, and others, here on CTG, we can arm you with a bit more expanded info, and we will definitely revisit this issue in the near future. Our Wildlife Spotlight comes from Deb Wilson, former blogger at Austin Agua Dulce in Rollingwood. Last June, Deb and her family moved to Dripping Springs, where she concentrates mostly on native plants, but also includes family pass-alongs and herbs, including the parsley that she grows for the kitchen and to share as a larval host for swallowtail butterflies. In summer's heat, she hand-watered the transplants, and recently, their first eastern black swallowtail emerged from a chrysalis that overwintered in the parsley. So if you see tiny eggs on your parsley and then caterpillars chomping them, be glad that you'll have beautiful butterflies soon. We'd love to hear from you. Check out centraltexasgardener.org to send us your stories, questions, and pictures.